camera or shotgun? The choice is yours. Join Sunny as she takes you hunting for wild boars. Scores of wild boars frenetically run through the dense forest. A true hunter's dream. And now we will show it to you. We will experience unforgettable hunting adventures. Crossing 4 continents in search of the world's finest hunting grounds, we will travel to Africa and Australia, where wild pigs roam free. We will stalk for trophy boars in Europe, and will take part in hunting batus in Asia. Share the thrill of the furious wild boars encounter with the fearless dogs. Feel the excitement. Feel the danger. Share the adventure. Join the gathering of boars and hunters.
Today's episode will start with several driven hunts in Bulgaria. In the eastern part of Stara Planina, where autumn colors the trees in fantastic palettes, and the autumn cold mornings make the leaves of the lower tree branches to fall down, providing the hunters with better visibility. September is a nice month for the hunters because the active hunting season starts then, and the driven hunt is again the #1 event where hunters from all over Europe would like to participate. Nevertheless, today, the lucky ones that are here are several hunters from Denmark. Game in these hunting territories is very calm because except for some hunters arriving for selective shooting, animals haven't seen people for 7 months. Roe deer, red deer, and boars move actively inside the forest, even without being ushered by drivers' whistles and dogs barking. We let the first boar go because the hunting guide prohibited firing before the beginning of the driven hunt. This was a very correct decision. In order to prevent boars turning against the drivers and getting away even before making a chain, firing during the arrangement of the ambushes is strictly forbidden by the driven hunt guide. Meanwhile, the drivers and their dogs approach the driven hunt region, and the boars will become aware of their presence every minute. During this season, the boars are organized in small groups inside the forest, each of 5 or 6 animals led by an adult sow. Much later in the season, and after many more organized hunting outings for driven hunts, the animals will get organized in larger herds of 15 to 30 animals. Now that they are in smaller groups, even the dogs manage to keep at one place some larger boar. Dogs barking clearly indicates that the driven hunt is at its peak, and the hunter was impatiently waiting for a second chance to meet the boar that passed by a few minutes ago. He got the chance, but this time the boar is not moving that peacefully, and it is additionally getting away from the shelter of the thick trunks of the oak forest. After the end of the first drive, the tranquility of the forest inhabitants has not been disturbed by any shot. This is the case because the animals are not sufficiently frightened to make stupid mistakes and to gallop frenetically towards the ambushes of the hunters. They are rather moving slowly and cautiously to assess the noise produced by the drivers, the smell carried by the wind, and the sudden cracking of the twigs and noise under the steps of the hunters hidden in the forest shadows. In the other end of the forest, one of the hunters got lucky. The fox is very large, and the hunter has saved the life of many small game animals after shooting the predator. I would say he has saved many small squeakers, but some can say this statement is funny. Maybe we will get back to this topic in some of the following episodes when we present you the fox with a small squeaker in her mouth getting out of the forest. The autumn in the forest is the season during which the game actively feeds with berries and acorns in order to make up for the forthcoming cold winter months. The forthcoming driven hunt will be held at relatively plain terrain in proximity to cultivated areas, where the mature harvest of corn and sunflower that is ready for gathering in is irresistible attraction for the herds of boars. The forests in proximity to these regions at that time of the year shelter many boars after their night exploits in the agricultural fields. In addition to the boars, this place is full of many deer and hinds, and we have the predators going around the game pathways in the search of prey. It is not hard to see red deer going mad with love games in the open fields of the forest. Just like this young red deer that believes he is masked well with twigs and leaves. The specially trained beagles do not disturb the stags and not to follow the traces left by them in the forest. In turn, the hunters do not have the right during the driven hunt to shoot at anything else than the tuskers and the offspring, and if they get lucky, at some predator. We can find traces of the predators and remaining of their hunting everywhere around, but they are hard to find since they are well hidden in the most inaccessible parts of the forest. They relax during the warm autumn days and get active at night in order to use every opportunity for hunting some fresh meat. Driven hunts are good occasion for them to search the region after the hunters for fresh prey. Some wounded boar that was left unfound, or just to lick the fallen leaves where boars were taken down during the driven hunt. At that place we can shoot, and only in the rare cases of well-visible aim. The calm briefing at each post performed by the driven hunt guide will provide every hunter with the right instructions for the direction in which he can or cannot shoot. Some of the hunters are being arranged in the forest amid the trees, and the others will be arranged at the hunting stands erected especially for this type of hunting. Thanks to the good visibility in all directions, these hunting stands provide the good shooters with opportunity for farther shots, thus expanding the hitting perimeter of the hunters in the ambushes. The guide remained at the last post of the group in order to signal the hunter when to let go the groups of boars passing by him without firing at them. This is necessary because the ambush plan that covers all hunters, drivers, and dogs should work out. Once the groups of boars get inside the circles, they could be guided to go around the participants for hours. This is the ideal case, but it never works out exactly this way. The driven hunt has just begun, and the boars are not quite worried about the distant dogs barking, and decide not to show up in the open space cleared off any trees. There is plenty of time, and once the drivers approach, they will have to make their mind whether to stand facing the dogs or away from them. The first group of boars is about to get in the driven hunt. The noisy movement along the fallen leaves is inevitable during this season in the forest, but it is quite undesirable if the hunter wants to remain unnoticed for the boars approaching in groups. The hunter would like to take down the fox passing by, but such an early firing will mess up the driven hunt plan, and the guide does not permit shooting at the predator. If the hunter gets lucky, he will see the fox once again after the dogs chase it back. The signal of the hunting guide is positive, and the hunter could start hunting without having to wait anymore. The first boar goes down with a single shot.
Okay. Bravo, maestro.
Congratulations.
This boar was also taken down, and the thick layer of dried mud on his fur didn't protect it against the precise firing. If it doesn't go down, at 50 meters away it will be aimed at from the next post. Sows with squeakers. Offspring is the most desired trophy for the chef in the hunting villa, and the hunter will try providing him some. The group is too far, and it is hidden behind the trunks and the leaves of the low trees, so it is not the easiest aim. Yet the hunter tries turning their direction to get them back in the driven hunt, if not shooting some down. The firing achieves the desired result, and the whole pack gets back after the leading sow. The instinct of the majority wild boar in the case of shooting is to head for a while in the direction of the shotgun sound, thus decreasing their visible area and exposing the hardest parts of the armor plates of their chest. If a second firing is not produced in several seconds, usually the boars run back along the road from which they approached the ambush. But in the case of a second shot, they continue their suicidal run straight towards the hunter and, like real kamikazes, use their tusks in order to fearlessly encounter the opponent.
Jo! Vänta, vänta. Måste
Čuvam, koje? Te su ti listovali?
The driven hunt is over, and it is time to count the boars down and to search for the wounded ones in the case of blood traces.
Bumm. Und dann zogen die natürlich alles mitgefahren und dann bis vorne.
Wenn du richten kannst, hier gibt es Zaun. Nochmal, mein Herz rein.
Was sag?
It is called blind wall or armor. Do you have any idea how many bullets we have found sticking at the boar without getting inside it? Touch it to see what it is. Press hard. It is as strong as steel. This boar proves to be the second animal shot by the hunter during the driven hunt. The drivers finished it off with a pistol. The boar has extraordinary trophy qualities. Its large and massive tusks would be worthy trophy exhibits, and meanwhile its huge body was driven in front of the hunting house so that the hunters could take pictures with it.
100 Kilo. Runtermachen.
So far, we have taken a close look of the wild animals before the driven hunt. We followed the behaviour of the boars with and without hunting dogs following them. We saw several precise shots by our guests from Denmark, but will they be good enough to outscore their Bulgarian colleagues and rank in the perfect shot? We are about to find out in the following minutes in the episode for the fans of wild boar hunting. Now we will embark on dizzy driven hunts together with the drivers and dogs. We will take part on a difficult march through the fallen trees and the interweaving shrubs to push out the packs of wild boars resting there. We will see many more shots, some of them precise, others misfired, but always amidst dynamic hunting situations in which everybody would love to take part. Make yourselves comfortable because the most interesting in Boars and Hunters is yet to come.